Hello everyone. So this is going to be the review on eustass.kid. I haven't gotten to Wano yet. I have met Wano, or I mean not Wano, but I've met eustass.kid in One Piece, and I gotta say I think he's pretty cool. But we all know how these reviews go. I'm gonna go over the box first, then the accessories, then the figure. So we pause and we'll go over the box. This is the first One Piece character too that I'm gonna be reviewing. I'm gonna be in the way I have them on my shelf. I'm gonna go in the way I have them on my shelf for the reviews. But let me get the figure out of the way, and we'll go over the box. So, unlike the Dragon Ball ones, the One Piece ones are tad bit different. eustass.kid's box happens to be, you know, bigger than any of the other figures I own because he's a pretty big figure. But you got on the side here, it shows you the on all of these One Piece figures come with faceplates for Luffy, for either Luffy you have. So if you see the two different versions, the one with the yellow pants or orange pants, however you want to say it, or the blue pants from the Romance Dawn one, then all the faces fit on both of them. But shows you all the faces he comes with for him. You got the silhouette here on the front here. Then there's the side here. Then you got this here on the back. I really wish that they would have, because up here in the corner they have like images of them using attacks and stuff. They could have given him like a lightning sleeve for the hand, but it's not that big of a deal. But we got the back of the box here, the bottom of it, which is just a colored portion like what's on the front, but just red in the back. Then on the top, for this entire line, if you are just getting into this line, man, these are this is dusty. But you get a straw hat cut at the top here. But boxes aren't too different from anything else, but there's slight differences. But I don't think it's a terrible design. It's a pretty good design, honestly. But let's move on to the accessories. Okay, so now we're on to the accessories. So to begin with, before I go over any of Eustass's accessories, this is the DLC faceplate you get with Luffy. You get the no pupils at all, like none at all, with a little sweat bead with a teeth grin. So, I mean, I guess you could use this for like he gets completely knocked out. Like, I'm sure it's from some point in the Wano arc. I just, like I said, haven't made it to the Wano arc, but that is the faceplate you get for the DLC stuff when it comes to Luffy. Then you've got for Eustass's faces, you've got this yelling one here. Not too bad. And you've got this like happy wide open mouth face. Then you've got this teeth gritting face here. Then you've got the face I usually keep on him. But you've got the teeth gritting face, like a evil, sinister teeth gritting face. And then you've got, because I've seen the clip, so I know what this is, but you've got from when they did the chicken game against, I believe it was Big Mom. But you got this face here. And then the other way to get the other two is you need Law, which I definitely speculated, or not speculating, but thinking about getting that. But you need Law for Luffy's version of that, and Law's comes with it, because, I mean, it's Law. But now the different thing about this figure is he only comes with one side of hands, because he's got a giant metal arm. So, first off, for the hands, you get sort of like a martial arts hand, kind of like what Goku comes with half the time. You get a kind of like what most Dragon Ball characters come with. You get a clawed kind of open hand like this. You get a really unique, fancy kind of hand here. It's a wide open palm hand, but he's kind of got his hand like this, where the last two fingers here are kind of in more. You get what I mean. Yeah, you get kind of like a unique, fancy kind of hand there. You get this, which comes with the figure in the box. You get the fist, like every anime figure I own comes with a pair of fists. Then you get like a kind of relaxed, kind of neutral hand here. But I mean, that's about what you get when it comes to accessories for this man. You don't get, a lot, but I don't think you need a lot. Like I said, the only thing I wish that he came with was probably like the lightning piece right here. I kind of wish that they gave him that, because that would have been cool to pose him up with. But I mean, I guess if you have a figure that has a lightning pose, or not a lightning pose, but a lightning accessory, you can use it for him, or you can even get like the accessory packs and stuff that they do. But let's move on to the figure. Alright, on to the figure. So the first glaring problem you can see is he does not like to stand on his own at all. I forgot to mention that this dude, Eustass, will come with a, well, at least the one that I got, came with a stand. But, like, he will not stand because of his cape. There are cloth capes out there for you to get. Like, I mean, most of these characters and stuff and all these figures you can get, there are cloth goods to them. There are very rare ones that they don't come with, but the cape is just clearly too heavy, which I don't know why they decided to use a very heavy, thick plastic for the cape. It does pop off. You just kind of have to massage it off like that. This is what the cape looks like. You've got a joint in the piece right here. You've got one right there. So it's basically 3 points of articulation when it comes to the cape. You've got 3 spots that you can articulate. And I mean, we can obviously see the big peg right here that sits on the back of him. But I don't plan on getting him the cloth cape. Yes, it would probably be much easier to pose him around and stuff. It's just it's not on my mind to get him a cloth cape. But personally, I am not a big fan of these hard plastic capes. It's not a big deal because I don't mind finicking around with it, trying to pose it. It is just annoying though, because without it, he stands perfectly fine. It's just, like I said, because he's got way too heavy of a cape. Anyway, the reason he doesn't come with 2 sets of like hands here is because, quite simple, he comes with the robo hand here. Well, hand, more like the robo arm here. And the way that these joints look here they're on a ball, or I believe that's on a ball joint. It's on a ball joint with a butterfly joint that goes up and down. Let's see here. Careful with it too, because I've seen it where the shoulder here does break. Just be careful with that. That's about as much as you're going to get in the arm there. Is about that much. Let's see if we can get his arms to cross. You're not getting his arms to cross. That's about what you're getting with his arms. Which now I see how these butterfly joints work. Yes, they allow him to go up and down like this, but it's really all in that butterfly joint. I mean, that ball joint there. Which, I will say, it looks awkward if you have his arm like that. Just because you have such a big piece like that. But, arms are alright on this man. I ain't gonna lie. So, butterfly joint, or I mean, not butterfly, we just went over those. Bicep, you get about that much. He does have a bicep swivel as well. Then you've got this here. Some of these one-piece ones are a little different. Like, he happens to use a ball, like standard ball peg. Some of them use like a actual stick, like the joint will look like a actual stick, but you've got a about that much bend in him right there. He can look up about, if he doesn't, crouch his knees, he can look up about that much if you move his head. His head can look about that far down with the face popping off. That's another thing to be careful with. So comfortably, he can look about that far down. If we're standing him up, he can look about that far down. He's looking straight at my hand. You just can't see my hand because it's off camera. But then he looks up. If we're standing him straight up, he looks up about that far. Head-wise, careful too because it does pop off sometimes. But head-wise, he can tilt it about yay far and yay far. So not too much to the side. He can't, to me, he can look up pretty decently and look down pretty decently. He can't look extremely far down, like I said, because if you do try to extend it, push it a lot, it will push the face off. That's like 2. He's got the little bang piece back here, so just be careful with that, so you don't lose it. Arm over here, he's got about that much in the bicep bend there. He's got a bicep swivel here as well. Then, neat thing with this figure is usually whatever the hands, fingers look like, yeah, they're usually stuck that way. But Eustass here, you can bend his fingers to however you want. You can make him pointing at you. You can make him decide to be a rebel, and you can make him flip somebody off, or he went to a rock show. There's a ton of things you can do with the hands here. These are just things that I can think of off the top of my head. You can make him jam out to some rock tunes. Then another thing to do with this figure too, sometimes that'll happen, but you can pop this out and it just looks like a straight cannon, which is pretty nice. And then when you do have it like this, you can just go and boom, it pops right back in. Alright, so apparently he does not want to do that now. It used to be where I could pop the joint out here and it looks like a cannon, but not a big, concern to me. I don't plan on making him shoot cannons all the time out of his hands. But for the lower half, he's got like the 3.0 style because he's on that you have the ball up here into the thigh. But he can kick his leg up about that far. He's got a bend at his knee about that far. I'm not going to go over both legs. For most of my reviews, I'm not going to double down on arms and legs, because both the arms and legs are going to have both the same kind of articulation. But you can do a full 360 with his thigh. Then his foot can bend about that far up, that far down, which, my God, that's a lot of down. You can make him bend his foot down quite a bit. He does have toe articulation. But he's got some pretty good foot or ankle rockers, for sure. But no, you don't get that either, because the Naruto line, I'm pretty sure I've done some figure reviews on those, but those I believe have some ankle like pivot. This figure here does not have that. But eustass.kid is pretty cool. I don't think he's on my last that I made the list. I don't think he was on my top 10 list. But nonetheless, I still like eustass.kid. He's pretty cool. But figure-wise, this should have never been a hard plastic. Never. And I feel like he could have come with a lightning effect, but again, there's that notion that, let's say you have either one of the Sasukes, you can just use the Chidori from that. But either way, this figure's pretty fun to pose outside of him having the cape off, because he's not that heavy, but he's not that light either. So, before I end this review, too, I'm going to do a size comparison for y'all so you can see how tall bro actually is. Here he is compared next to Goku, the Daima Goku that is, which, I mean, Goku comes to about his chest, so he's like a head taller than Goku. Let me grab another person, we can then compare and see how tall he is to another person. Alright, so now I've got another figure to pose with him, which happens to be up here, or a farming, of course. But, Piccolo here comes to about here, lower crotch area for his height wise. But, I mean, it makes sense because he is the smaller version, but I figure I'd show off how the smaller figures look compared to him as well. Usually I do a standard size version character, so you can see how big he usually scales that way, and then the smaller ones. But for the most part, he scales pretty great. I should have grabbed a One Piece character just to show you, but for the most part, he's not ridiculously tall. He's not ridiculously small either, but overall, figure's pretty good. He's definitely not a 10 out of 10. He's more like an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, somewhere around there for me. Now, I don't know if that's going to be any different for y'all, but he's definitely a 8 or 7 out of, 10. But, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and, I'll see you in the next one.